doing the presentation and we are going to discuss about the retail. Yes. So as you know that every alternate coming up with a new franchisee opportunity, and today is the 20th opportunity. We are going to showcase out of the 100 best franchisee opportunity. And today, right now, on all our channels like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you are thinking right time to start franchising in retail category or especially in footwear, or if you're thinking better to buy few new franchise or start something by own, then this webinar is going to help you out in understand all the questions and get more insight about these questions. So I would like from the pioneer in footwear. Yeah. I would like to introduce our guest, Mr. Ramesh Sadhu, CEO at Liberty Limited. So, sir, please tell us about these questions. Is it right? And want to know about the journey of Liberty.
Good evening. It was nice to be with all of you today, and it's the greatest opportunity for me also to get introduced to all of you.
Yeah.
So far as my journey is concerned, I started this retail journey, and you'll be surprised that it was in 1984 when I joined as a district manager in Bata India Limited. That was the only dominant company at that time, and I started in North when I was covering Rajasthan and Haryana, and then I went to Delhi. From Delhi, I was taken as store operations manager East for entire eastern region of the country. Then I shifted as in merchandising to entire South. Then from South, I went to West, all the 5 states of West. And then again, I was taken as vice president retail in North. So I had an opportunity to study in depth the cultural differences in the country. And normally we say it's one country, but I always used to say even now that these are 28 to 29 countries in one country, because there is no uniformity in taste. And those days it used to be more diverse. Today maybe some homogeneity has come into retailing, but at that time it was totally different in taste of South. The fitting in South was diametrically opposite to North. Eastern region is having its own festivals, its own buying opportunities and occasions to buy. In Western region, Diwali was a dominant factor, but in North, it is marriage and festivals and school everywhere. The only commonality was school. And today, I joined as senior vice president in merchandising in Calcutta again, and then I left that company. I wanted to start. My desire was to start some company on my own where I would had all the departments myself and start a company with zero. So I got an opportunity to join Liberty in 2004, wherein I came to know that they wanted to start retail operations in a very organized and methodical manner.
Okay.
We started this journey of retail revolutions in 2004. That this was the time when India was waking up to mall culture. Otherwise, I had, it looks very funny today when I look at the background, what I have seen and what I'm looking at it today, that I have seen shops like which we used to call holes in walls, small stores, mom and pop stores, with all the stock lying outside. There was no concept of display. But when I went abroad, I was dreaming when I saw Walmart stores, when I saw those biggest of the biggest malls, I was dreaming when it will happen in India and I will like to manage it. So we started those days in 2004, 2005, the mall culture started. And we started with Inorbit Mall, Mumbai. And then we went on and we opened almost 180 outlets. Initially, we tried to go only to the malls. But then I found that we cannot ignore high streets. I cannot ignore small towns, rural markets, metro towns. So everywhere we tried to put our put our footsteps, our footmarks. It has been a great learning, and even now I see that there is no end to learning. I can't claim today that I am master of retailing. Today, the digitalization is coming in with such a speed that if you do not keep pace, you are going to be obsolete. And
That's true.
that
That's true.
is a very, very interesting journey. And over to you.
Yeah. So this is great to know that how you have seen the changes that Indian market has done from from small shop to mall, and that's
Yes.
you are the evidence. You have seen the journey. Well, this is interesting, and I would like to know the Liberty journey so far. So I think the brand has started in the year 1954, and they have started with four. They were manufacturing four shoes in a day, and now they are manufacturing 50,000 pair a day, and among the top five manufacturer of the footwear in the world.
Yes, yes, yes.
In the world, I
See,
think, yeah. So this is the
that's
journey that Liberty is having.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
has been
I
a
want to
broad.
you because you have seen the changes. I want to know you the current status or current market in retail. If I talk especially in footwear, how the market in India is performing.
See, so far as performance is concerned, till 1920, uh, it was almost a share, a total volume of more than 25,000 crores, and the market was growing every year at 15%, more than 15 to 18%. And after this lockdown and all, of course, the brick and mortar stores have are not progressing to that level. But the moment the lockdown opens, what was my experience in October, November, December, even everybody was taken aback with the way the customers came back. And then everybody,
Okay.
they gave it a name of revenge buying. Even I was not expecting that people will come out and they're so fed up staying at home that they would buy the shoes for all walks of life. And Liberty has an advantage that
Yeah.
we deal with all the functionalities. We deal with school shoes, which is all over India today. I can claim to be number one in school shoes. We make shoes for sports, athleisure shoes,
Yeah.
open
Yeah.
footwear like coolers, sandals and chappals. We make for formal shoes. One of the best formal shoes, that's Fortune, and we make for ladies fashion shoes and ladies basic shoes. And we are one of the best in industrial and safety shoes today. And in fact,
Yeah.
that's what I said, in all walks of life, whether it's formal or it is sports or it is athleisure or it is school or it's open footwear for summer. And that's why, because we have wide variety of customers and wide variety of choice available, people don't take time to come back to us.
Okay.
And
I
today
can
in
relate
India,
myself with that.
yeah,
Yeah. I can relate myself with that example. The shoes, when I was a kid, I used, and now, the different styles are there. So yes, of course, not the school shoes, but I can now relate with that question.
good. In
So,
fact, we
one more question, sir. Yeah, please
in fact, when we
saying
went to
something.
down south, that was my first visit in South. I approached one school, and then it multiplied, like those school, those teachers and everybody. They took a lot of interest. They provided a space to sell shoes in their premises. And today we have one of the
Oh,
biggest client is Narayana School, a chain of schools. They buy for almost 80 to 90 lakhs per year from us.
that is a
And
good
it has
number.
become one of the most popular brands so far as school is concerned, which we call by the name Prefect.
I think schools are the biggest market for Liberty, if I'm not
True,
wrong.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I have this question that when Liberty has started giving the franchise, in which year?
Liberty started in 1954. They were predominantly in export market at that time. And then in 1983, they started franchise operations. And in
Okay.
2004, as I mentioned earlier, that we started our own company
Hmm.
operated outlets. The
Mm-hmm.
advantage of opening company-owned company operated outlets was that I had that expertise of running retail chains all over the country, and with that knowledge that I had
Hmm.
about the tastes of each region, it did not take me much time to start operations. And
Yeah.
I was since I was already having the knowledge of the taste of what people like to buy in different regions, not only
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
metro towns but in the remote towns also. We started
Hmm. Hmm.
expanding, and we had a joint venture also that time with Future Group, which is called by name Footmart. And in South,
Oh,
we entered South with Centrals. And why they started,
sad.
joint venture with us was that our share of total footwear sale in Central was 40%.
Oh.
And then we started coming out of Central and spreading our own wings all over South. And
Hmm. Hmm.
the success in South, was because we knew what they buy. Typical shoes, a
Hmm.
typical color, typical thong. And that is what is the intricate knowledge you have to have about the customer taste, what they buy, why they buy, and when they buy, at what price they buy. That was the
Yeah,
experience
but
that
I think
we had.
now, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry
And
to interrupt. Now the buying behavior of customer has also changed. At that time, you used to think that you will buy, but now if you see that our shoes matching with our dresses, and all that started happening. Uh, agree. If correct me if
that's
I'm
what
wrong.
that's what I say. There are three things that we have to depend upon. Is number one, what information you have. What is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
information in your computer systems you have, and then you see the historical data. But then there
yeah,
has to
yes.
be an infrastructure in the company available with you, which has got the capability to experiment.
Huh.
If we make 4 to 5,000 designs, we will have to
Hmm.
not believe our experience every time, but we have to experiment. So we place the shoes, we study very closely what is the reaction of the customer to our footwear
Hmm.
that we offer them, that we showcase. And then third
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
observation. What your sales guys educate you, how they educate you, what they observe, what the customer is wanting. And if he did not get the choice, and if it is a huge number, this observation is shared with us. That's why that is the
Hmm.
job of
Hmm.
the merchandising product development people, the team. When they keep on getting those feedbacks, feelers,
Yeah,
we see
yeah,
the changing taste and we respond to it.
yeah. I think Liberty knows, like, that's Liberty knows that what exactly want.
Exactly. And that is the knowledge base you should have. Otherwise, you will get redundant. And this is the maximum attention we pay to data crunching. Not only
Okay.
going through the computer screen data, but going and watching on the shop floor how the customer reacts and
Hmm.
what is his opinion. As a CEO,
Hmm.
I have sold shoes myself in the beginning. And people used to get
Okay.
surprised when I would give my card to them. They say, "You sell yourself." I said, "Yes, I want to learn myself."
So
And this
nice.
is the knowledge we have
So
given to
nice.
our franchisees, which has made them
Uh-huh.
to thrive. They don't have to struggle left and right and be tense. What is going to happen in future? That's our headache, and we will help
Yeah,
them in
yeah.
it.
Okay. So I want to know, sir, from you a few success stories from you, like if about franchise, how they have started their journey, and right now where they're standing. If they are successful, then behind it.
You see, when we started our own Coco stores, company-owned, company-operated stores,
Hmm.
we had to do those experiments at our cost, not at their cost. So we
Okay.
invested a lot of money in new stores. We tried different types of furniture. We tried different types of display systems. We tried different types of training. We worked on five senses, which has become a buzzword today, but we have done it 10 years before. And
Okay.
we gauged, we watched
I
what
can.
is the success. And then these stores of
Uh-huh.
our own, Coco stores, became the training ground for the franchisees. We did not say theoretical things to them, but we showed them practically that how the sale has increased by changing our approach to
Yeah.
customers, changing the fixture by
Yeah.
looking at what exactly, which type of location really works. Do we need to
Okay.
have one store or
In the
two?
location.
Yes, it was practically shown to them by investing lots of money in it and then watching the success stories. These shops
Yeah.
became the training centers for my franchisees. There was
Okay.
nothing
Okay.
theoretical. They came and they watched, they observed, and then I had to conduct classes. Then how, why, what makes us successful and what makes us to fail. And then in due
Okay.
course of time, like I introduced, I was the first guy who introduced hanging display in the whole
Hmm.
country. Even those foreigners in
Oh.
Bata were flabbergasted to see the way we made the display in the stores. Now, the biggest thing that a franchisee needs is the effective return on his investment. And for that, he needs to have a
True.
lot of practical knowledge. Like we say that we give a lot of importance to per square foot yield. And that per square foot yield has to match with the per square foot rentals. And if we have surplus space in the shop, it goes waste. But now, when we introduce this hanging display, we could display 5 times more stuff in the same space. And we've done away with the stock rooms, and that has saved the rental for the franchisee. The turnover
Yeah.
has
I
increased 4 to 5 times, and this is the
very
support
nicely
they have got by
said.
our on spot, on the job performance.
Yeah. Yeah. This is really because this will save the space, and if you're shoes hanging, and even it's easy for the customer also to all the designs properly. I feel so.
And yes, I am not exaggerating to tell you
It
that
is easy accessible.
yes, I was the pioneer, the first person who started that display, which is copied by all the companies today. And now, those success
Oh.
stories is that some of the franchisees who were,
Yeah.
you know, by emotions attached with the company, but they wanted to grow, they wanted to have a direction which way to go. So we use these outlets for their training. And the names that you see on the screen here, these are the people who have started chain of stores, not one store. They have chain of stores. They have tasted success with one store, and they went on the second, then third, then fourth, and some of them are having 6 stores at a moment. And these are the
Okay.
stores like
Pinky sales, sir. I want sales.
Pinky Sales. He was my student basically. He was my area manager,
Okay.
and he could see the way I made him to move in the field as being a tough taskmaster, and he absorbed each and everything, the trick of the trade. And he was
Uh-huh.
having money, and one fine day he decided that why don't I work for myself? And I said, I will be
Okay.
the happiest person if you become an entrepreneur. But there was, in
Uh-huh.
initially, I had to select each and every shop that he was having an eye on. Unless I would give a go ahead, he would not go on. So
All right.
he selected stores in Gurgaon. Like he's got one store in Gurgaon which does 22 lakhs a month today, and he has got
Today it
shop
is
in
making
Rohtak,
22 lakhs.
22 lakhs a month, and it's a good business for footwear industry today for one store. He started one store in Rohtak,
Wow.
and his counterpart does 50 lakh rupees per month with our brand. And now what this guy has done, he has taken 12 stores and he has started his own merchandising department. He has started his own operations, and he borrowed people from me and I gave it to him. And in his success
Really?
lies my, yeah. And this is how we have groomed these people.
Oh,
And
okay.
like this now in South, he comes and stands in our store to see what we are doing new, and he adopts it in his shop. And it has been a direct and indirect teaching and learning with our franchisees.
Okay. Okay. So, if I talk about these are the success which I can see from the screen that Pinky, in also you have 50 lakhs per month, some existing franchisees.
Yes,
So, what is
true.
the exact things that they have to brand is giving proper support to them? What are the profiles that are Liberty is looking? And I'm sure a few things are also be there. So can you just tell me the difference between success franchisees?
See, a franchisee is an entrepreneur, and
Yeah.
if he thinks that he puts up a store and then he
Mm,
puts the merchandise there, now the customers will come,
mm,
they will buy,
mm.
and he will be happy guy sitting on the chair like a lala. It doesn't work. He
Okay.
has to be totally involved into this business, and
Okay.
especially the arrangement what we have two types of franchises. Is number one, franchise owned, franchise operated, and the other one is franchise owned, company operated. Now this franchise owned, company operated is the latest development we have for the last 5 6 years. Why we felt the need is that certain franchisees didn't want to be 24 hours in the store, they wanted to do something else, and
Okay.
for that they
Yeah.
wanted someone to look after the operations, they look after the finance, they look after the display and the training part of it. So we understood what are the
Uh-huh.
pain points of the franchisee. We took care of all these pain
Hmm.
points, and now today, since we give him the manager also, now if he comes for
Hmm.
even 3 days or 2 days to the shop to understand, and then
Hmm.
remains busy with other businesses also, it doesn't matter now. But so far as franchise owned, franchise operated outlet is concerned, he has to be devoted. He has to see what's happening in the store, he has to see how the customer, what the customer wants, how he's being treated, how the customer is being treated is the $1 million question. And
Okay.
if
Okay.
he does not put 100% in his with his presence and does not learn everyday new tricks or new things,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
maybe that success will be eluding him. So that his personal
Okay.
involvement.
If I if I summarize, if I say that the profile ideal franchisee in terms of time, if someone is able to divert his full time or dedicate his full time, then you want the full model. But someone who want to give his 100% time, then he can opt for FOCO model.
Yes, yes, true. But you see, in FOCO,
So let's just, yeah, yes,
in
sir,
FOCO
please.
model, why did this
Yeah,
evolve? It was not only because of the franchisees' 24 hours involvement. It also, when
yeah,
once we understood by operating on FOFO for some time, that
yeah.
there are certain things they feel pain on, like investment in stocks. He
Hmm.
would
Hmm.
always be worried that what will happen to the unsold stock, how much money I have to invest in the stocks, and then why I will get that much capital, uh,
Hmm.
how I will operate day-to-day basis. I don't know the merchandising. I don't know what I have to do if I need that, because it needs constant replenishment. Every 3 days, 2 days, they need
Yeah, yeah.
replenishment, and he doesn't have time to order. He does not
Hmm.
understand the whole thing. So these pain points
Hmm.
were
Hmm.
identified, and we try to solve all of them one by one by going to the FOCO model. Here in FOCO model,
Yeah, yeah.
he has not to invest in stocks. The company invests in stocks. He is not responsible
Yeah.
for
So,
unsold in sorry.
sorry, a few joined us. Let me address
Uh-huh.
them. Subhojit has joined. Subhojit Banerjee has joined us. So, hi, Subhojit, joining us. And yes, we are going to reply all your doubts that are there. You will get all the answers. Please stay with us. And Kritika has also joined. She is also asked a question. Kritika will address all these questions. Mr. Ramesh is with us. Will answer all the questions. Just stay connected with us. Yeah, sir. Please, we can continue with that
Okay. Now, what I was
profiling of the franchise.
the profile of the franchise. What I was trying to say is that the normal questions that franchisees have asked me, because I have interacted with thousands of them, and the normal question that every time used to come is, what happens to the unsold stock? Who maintains
Yeah.
the accounts? Then who what support the company gives me? Especially
Hmm.
the pain on unsold stock was expressed by everybody. And then who runs the day-to-day
Hmm. Hmm.
operation? I can't sit on the computer 24 hours and run your operations. So what we decided, because you see, everybody is not expert in everything. Now, if suppose today I give you a franchisee and I tell you to operate that store, you will be puzzled. How will I start and where I will end? So what happens
True.
that we assign these duties to one of our managers who is trained on the job. He is given that assignment. We pay for that manager. He operates on the computer. He watches every day to day operations. He takes care of. He takes care of display. Takes care of the training of the staff. He ensures that that
Yeah.
people learn, and then the replenishment, which is the most essential part of the job,
Hmm.
he takes care of it.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
he
Yes.
watches what are those products which have slowed
Hmm.
down in demand. Then the
Hmm.
company comes and takes it back or gives discount at its own cost. So lot of burden from the company's mind has been lifted, and he has to just
Hmm.
give a security deposit which is refundable and which bears interest. From time to time the interest part
Hmm.
it changes, and the only thing that he invests is some amount on the furniture. That's it.
Okay. So I think this is the doubts that every workers are having, that what will happen to the unsold goods if any there, will the brand will take it back or not. But as Liberty is saying that yes, take it back, and they only have to focus and buy those. And if I talk education for ideal franchisee profile, I think some reasonable education is sufficient for taking up Liberty franchising. The background, if I talk about, not to have retail background, only be ready and you have the interest of running the business. Skill sets, I don't think any skill sets, specific skill sets are mentioned by Liberty the franchisee. But yes, if time I'm talking about, if you really want to dedicate your time, there are two models are available, FOCO and FOFO. If you want to you are not able to give your 100% time, then you can go for FOCO model. Otherwise, FOFO, then you can go for, yeah, of course, FOCO, and FOFO wants more time.
Hmm.
Right, sir?
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, so
Let's
far as
go
education,
to the next slide. Yeah, please, sir.
is concerned, a simple graduate with
Yeah.
an urge to learn on the job. This When I was talking about FOCO model, he
Hmm.
comes at least 2-3 times a week. He comes in the morning, he comes in the evening, and watches what these guys are doing and what are the operations like, how they are
Uh-huh.
operating, how the customer is being served, what are the latest techniques that the company is applying for customer service, customer satisfaction, and what personal care is being taken for the customer, and how he starts interacting with the customer. He learns a lot and he becomes an expert in retail business.
Yeah. Of course, if they are
Yeah,
visiting the showrooms, they'll get to know exactly what their customers, and end of the day will be able to fulfill their requirements the way they want. So
true.
this is this is this is a very valid point. Let's go to the next slide, where I want to know, sir.
I just forgot to share one thing here. Sorry, I forgot to share one thing
Yeah,
here,
please.
that the franchisee needs to have touch with the business, because we hold national channel meets every year, twice or thrice. Now, at this channel meet,
Okay.
he comes in, he's invited, and he gives lot of inputs into the designs we have. He gives lot of input into the changing customer needs, and he selects the merchandise as per his experience that he has gathered. So he has got complete say in what
Okay.
he would like to have. And he also shares his experience with the customer, which helps the company in turn to develop those products
Uh,
which are in demand, and also make apprises us about the changing taste of the customer. For that purpose, he has to be in touch.
he
Sorry,
has to. Yeah, yeah, of course. Exactly. He has to know exactly what their customer taste of the existing customer, and then it is possible to make the maximum sales. About the financials, suppose someone is interested in taking up the franchisee of Liberty, then what will be the investment that are required? If I talk about space, estimated ROI, is there any security deposit? As we have discussed in the previous slide, yes, there are deposit. So I want a little bit information about the financial parts from you.
see, investment depends a lot on certain factors, like the calculation of security deposit.
Hmm. Hmm.
He he has to pay 50% of the standard stock. The standard stock is we have to provide
Hmm.
5 to 6 months stock at a time when we start the business. 5 to 6
Okay.
months means that if he does 10 lakh rupees sale per month, we have to provide him 50 to
Hmm.
60 lakh worth of stock. And
Correct. Okay.
50% of that, yeah, and 50% of the that, say if he does 40 lakh rupees, say if he does 10 lakh rupees per month, and we calculate that 50 lakhs is the minimum inventory he has to keep, we take 25 lakh as security deposit, which bears interest of
Okay.
6% or 5% depending upon the market conditions. Last year we used to pay 6%.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that 25 lakh remains as a security deposit, which is refundable. And there is a franchise fee of some amount, whatever is prevalent at that
Hmm.
time, maybe lakh rupees, which is not refundable. There is a software security deposit of we operate on Retail Pro, which he has to pay us because we have to pay for the license, and which is also refundable if he decides to leave the franchise.
Okay. Okay.
And
So
now,
agreed.
sorry.
If I say the total investment will be, sir, so it will be a security deposit of 25 60,000, 60 lakhs stock they have to keep.
Correct. Now, the investment from franchisee's
Yeah.
side is the furniture. Now, this furniture investment is calculated based on the space he has taken, the market he is in.
Okay.
Now, if he takes a 1,000 square foot shop, or a 800 square foot shop, or a 2,000 square foot shop, then the investment on furniture will differ. So
Yeah.
it depends on how big the store has been selected, and in what type of market, and his investment on the rentals, his security deposit to the landlord. Yeah, that depends from place to place, and depends
Yes.
upon that calculated sale that we have. And in doing all this, our people are there to help in selection of the store, the size, the appropriate size,
Property.
appropriate floor. And we have behind us an experience of what type of store does not succeed and what succeeds. And that investment will
Okay.
depend
Okay.
a lot on that, the place and the size and the market, on all that. And
So
then
of course
only
it will
after,
affect the ROI.
yes, you see, the ROI will, now suppose a franchisee owns a store and he does not have to pay the rent, correct?
Yeah.
Or if he
Yeah.
has taken on rent, and then he pays for the rent, then ROI will depend upon the ownership, the expenses, the
True.
estimated expenses, the estimated the sales. And estimated sale is done place to place, market to market. So once we get those figures based on, suppose anybody selects a store in, say for example, South Extension, or he selects a store somewhere in Azamgarh, UP, or Bareilly, and we know what exactly will be the turnover of the store, what will be the per square foot yield, what will be his normal operational expenses, and that helps us in making an ROI which is almost 90% accurate.
Oh, okay. So this is upon location to location space
True.
requirement. Based on that, only the
Yeah.
investment and ROI we can estimate, right?
Actually,
So if you
yes.
are interested in taking up the Liberty franchisee and you have your own property or you want to rent it out, you can connect with us or leave your comment so that we'll reach on the location that you are having will the financials, exact financials. Yeah. We can move to the next slide where we'll talk about how Liberty franchisee is different from other franchises, because we know the market other brands, footwear brands are also giving franchisee. So how it is different from the other franchises?
You see, first thing is, what you have heard, the latest slogan is vocal for local. Liberty is one of the biggest brands today, so far as which is born in the country itself.
Yeah.
And the expertise that we have developed in understanding the taste, the buying habits, which is an enormous knowledge which has cost a lot of money, and which if today any franchisee comes to me and he wants to start a shop in Pondicherry, he does not have to bother about it. It's me who will decide what merchandise mix we will be successful there, and what
Okay.
sizes. In South, the sizes are different. North, it's different. Northeast is different. He does not have to worry about it. It's me. It's my job to do that. The replenishment is my job to do that. And then the personal touch that we have developed with customers
Yeah.
today, since it's not a multinational company, and I have worked in both the setups, that today we are fully aware of the cultural ethos, the cultural background of each and every region. We have made footwear service. It's not simply selling footwear. It's something like
Okay.
selling ourselves. We have worked on five senses, and in those five senses, one of the thing that has succeeded was the sense of touch. We are
Yeah.
fully conversant with what a customer needs, because you see, the footwear is one product which is put on and brushed on the customer's feet by the salesman. You take a talk of any other product today, you have to pick up
Yeah.
the product,
Yeah.
you have to go to the trial room, and you have to come out and help yourself. But footwear is only one product where the customer expects you to take out his old shoes and put on the new shoes on his feet, makes him to try. And for that, he has to have that mental acumen. He has to have that tendency to serve his feet. It's not selling footwear, it is serving the feet of the nation today. And we have borrowed ideas from the country's culture. The touching feet is the most sublime act, the noble act that we do today. And that how people have been tuned in the country's culture. And lot of people, even
Yes.
those who came from abroad, were taken aback to see the way we dress their shoes, we dress their feet.
Oh.
I have worked in
So
multinational companies, I have seen in other companies, but this
yeah.
service is not available. This teaching is not available with any other company today. I can challenge that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Indian culture is very. That's why we should follow this. And I think this is a very not. I'm not saying act-wise is different, but the very important change, because every customer can feel it. When comfort is very important, if I'm buying footwear, and that liberty is
Correct. And you see,
how
now
they are serving it. This is very different.
the other aspect is availability today. Like now, imports from China are under, question mark, and I don't think that this import from China will continue. And only the companies of Indian origin, where they have the manufacturing facilities, where they have the infrastructure for logistics, supply chain management,
Yeah.
will be the only option available today. And Liberty being such a huge company with so much of manufacturing facilities and one of the best supply chain management in process today, that's why it gives us an edge and some unique features.
Yes, like many franchisees want to know how to, suppose they are facing any challenge, whom to contact. If there are multiple channels, they get little irritated. They, want there should be a direct communication. From you, sir, I got to know that if any franchisee wants any kind of help, he can just call you and reach out to you directly without booking any appointments. Is this correct?
He has not to come through any channel, and he can
Okay.
directly call me any moment, anytime. He can barge into my room
Okay.
anytime he feels convenient. He can interact with,
Okay.
since I have an advantage, I have my headquarters in Cyber Hub Gurgaon,
Okay.
and wherein we have housed our merchandising department, marketing department, finance, HR, training, everything's available there. Any franchisee who needs any sort of help or any query that he wants to be answered, we are there for him, and they can directly come into my room without even giving me intimation that he's coming.
Oh, so
That
I think
access he has.
these are the major differences. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I have some franchisees who have taken 5 stores, like the one guy in Jharkhand. He was having his
Huh.
stores with one of the multinational companies in footwear. He came to me
Okay.
and I asked him, why are you how are you interested in us and why? He said, I was
Huh.
not given audience by that company. And when I asked someone, I asked someone your telephone number and address, you asked me to come and meet you in the office. And today, when he started with one store, he said, even if I have to ask for the smallest thing, I can come direct to
Huh.
you. And this is the approach, the access I have with the CEO, whereas at multinational company, I have to go through the ranks and I can't even dream of meeting the CEO today.
Uh,
Channels are open any moment because they are important for us.
yeah. So yes, this is important. I think franchisee want to communicate directly with the owners or so that they can get the clarity. This is how I think the well explained, sir, very well explained about the between other brands. This is the USP that Liberty is having, and that's why they are having more than 200 franchises across the globe. So I would like to know one more question, sir, because right now we know very tough time is going on, pandemic is going on. So you're during the pandemic situation, and if I talk about your franchises, existing franchises, are you giving them any kind of support during this, how are you supporting in terms of sales? Because that are not working, which are the most using so that you can continue your sales.
You see, this pandemic was a different experience altogether, and
Yeah.
we were taken aback. But what we learned from the first phase is there's a saying, those who sweat in peace bleed less in war. We had to work for it after the first initial experience of 2 months. We had to devise
Hmm.
methods how to wriggle out of the situation and how to satisfy our customers. Like
Hmm.
we
Hmm. Hmm.
increased our presence in online, it went 4 times, 5 times more than what we used to do. Then also we
Okay.
used our CRM activities, which we are giving to our franchisees from day one. We developed that CRM data.
Okay.
We got we got today almost 40 lakh customer data, and it's not the data only the telephone number. We have got thousands of photographs, family photographs, those who have come to our store. We got
Uh
photographs
huh.
of our customers with their telephone numbers. We don't send them the
Okay.
message, come back and all. They get irritated. But the moment they see the way we have served them and touched their feet and taken photographs, we send that
Yeah.
photograph with that in the WhatsApp group or any other channel. And they feel so happy about it. Now we have shared this data with the franchisees. And
Yeah.
we
Okay.
have, during this time, we have done home deliveries, not through Amazon, not through Swiggy, not through anyone else. We have used our own sales force, and they were pleased to go to customers' house and deliver products on them. And if you see these photographs, we have open stores
Yeah.
for them, taken risk, and these are home deliveries. If you see the next one,
Yeah.
like in Eid, if you see, these are the Eid customers we have. And last year they missed an opportunity to buy something new because there's a tradition with our Muslim brothers that they want to wear something fresh, something new, and especially their children look for some new footwear. But they were not able to get it from anywhere. But our CRM data showed us that who are the
Okay.
people we have to approach, and they were so happy to hear that we can deliver at home. We have taken shoes with us, we have tried it on their feet, and we
Mm-hmm.
have given them the shoe they like. And these are thousands of such examples where we are delivered through our own sales force.
Okay, so from your CRM, you have taken out the data, like which festival
Yeah.
is coming, because many people have missed out their festival.
Ah,
Everyone knew things during the festival. You have taken out the data, and sales
mm.
people have delivered the products at their doorstep, and they have even do the after that they have done the final purchase. Right? Is that
And
correct?
they have taken 4 shoes with them. They have tried them the way they try in the retail outlet, and they have selected one or two out of it, and the remaining he has taken back. We have used our warehouse to deliver those shoes to the customers' feet because some of the shops were closed. And they were taken aback. They were surprised to see that service. This is how we have
Even
used.
you are telling me, I'm also surprised because during this time, nobody is worried about anyone's celebration, and the liberty you have taken care. This is really out of the way the brand has gone.
This
Yeah,
answer to a question how liberty is different.
I can see Liberty is different
Right?
from other footwear brands. Now I can say that. Yeah, let's move to the next slide, Mr. Ram. As we have discussed about the location part, I want to know about the support system that franchisee Liberty is providing, location, training, market. We have already discussed it, but we want to cover up all this brief. Can you help me out in the location, sir?
The most important thing is there are three things
Yeah.
that make a retail store successful. This is just location, location, location. We
Okay.
have spent so many years in understanding what locations do work, which location fails, what are those
Hmm.
features that store should have,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
do we need multiple floors? How does it
Hmm.
add to the cost of having multiple stores? Does customer
Hmm. Hmm.
go upstairs these days? Does he have that much of time? All these things have
Hmm.
become now standing operating procedures, that what we need to do to select a location, that people have been trained after failures, that what
Hmm.
succeeds and what does not succeed, and this knowledge is imparted to franchisees. They are advised if he
So
does
what
a
the team
mistake.
has done that research,
Pardon?
ground research. Liberty team has done research where you have seen which location will work or which will not work, and the same you're passing it to your franchisees.
It is the on-job experience you got after going through the pain personally seeing
Okay.
whether
Okay.
what locations have succeeded and what have failed. And you have
Uh,
gathered that knowledge by now, that you will not make any customer to do any error in his judgment. That's our job, to give him the right direction, right advice.
uh-huh.
And don't get too eager to go
Uh-huh.
to that place. Take time. We will help you in doing that. We will say yes or no, because it is your investment in furniture that we have to safeguard. And so far as
True.
training
True.
is
So
concerned,
viewers, if you, yeah, yeah.
it's one of the best in the industry today. I can claim that.
Yes. And if I talk about marketing,
See, in marketing, we give them the signboard. We change as per the size of the store, the POP material in the store, the graphics.
mm-hmm.
We give a
Yeah.
signboard free of cost. We give uniforms. We give fragrance. We allow that those instruments, and
Yeah.
we give shoes to their staff. We provide uniforms, and for that we make a meager charge of some 8,333 per month, which can we can discuss later on. And
Okay.
signboard is free
Okay.
of cost. Its replacement is free of cost, and the marketing that we do, and we uh, upload that location in Google Maps, where it is very easy to search that
All
where
right.
exactly the store is located. It is the search is facilitated in Google Maps, and that infrastructure
All right.
we have. We provide CRM training and CRM data, which they
Okay.
can use at any time to recall a customer.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So training is
And
super. Marketing support also Liberty is giving, and we have talked about defective stock. Suppose any defective
it's our headache.
unsold. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
totally
sir.
on us. Rest assured, just be peaceful about it. It's my headache.
Oh, so viewers, you want to take franchising, then Liberty is giving proper support in terms of location. Don't be hurry. They will, verify that location will work or not. And in the existing, in that location, if in the 3 kilometer radius, if any existing franchisee is to choose other property, so that they don't want to give any competition to the existing franchisee. So this point that Liberty is having, and yeah, so. So I got the support system, Mr. Ram, from you. I'd like to tell our audience about the worldwide net liberties have. like 425 exclusive showrooms and 100 distributors, 4,000 plus brand outlets are there. I think this is the worldwide numbers that Liberty is having, and 200 franchises across the globe. Yeah. So this is the showroom we are talking about, Liberty. And so you want to point in this slide?
You see, keeping in mind that we deal with almost all the functionalities, we segment the stores as per functionality. That these are separate formal shoes, athleisure shoes, sports shoes, children's shoes, accessories, and this is very scientifically laid out depending upon the contribution of each category to the overall business. It's not just taking the shoes and putting it on a shelf. It is done as per pre-planned, that what's going to be the turnover of the store, what is going to be the contribution of each category and each department, like men's, ladies, kids, and
Okay.
fortunately we deal with all of them. And the biggest thing that which I forgot to tell you when you said what makes Liberty so important is that we have a price point from 200 rupees to 7,000 rupees. And any location,
Price point of the products?
yes, and that is the range
Okay.
that we have available, and it can fit into any market segment today. So this layout is done,
Oh.
and which actually we when I talked about the five senses, is that layout and the display has to be so attractive that the sense of it satisfies your sense of sight. The lighting has to be very attractive. It has to look like a jewel in the street.
True, true. Let's go to the next slide. Well, what is the risk of this franchisee channel business and more? Suppose someone is thinking about taking the franchise. Is there any risk?
See, this is what we discussed already, that normally the
Yeah.
pain point was that if I invest in stocks, if that something does not sell, so I lose my money, I will lose money through discount. None of this is his problem. The risk is just the furniture cost, which is 1,000 or 200 rupees per square foot investment, and that also, with passage of time, it does not remain of this original value also.
Okay, okay.
That's the only, because the stock is not his risk, and the investment, so far as security deposit is concerned, it goes back to him. That's all.
Okay, okay. So Liberty franchisee cost and all these things, viewers are asking few questions. So let's go to the next slide, sir. As we have already covered, we can take up all the questions from the audience that they are asking. They are waiting for our answers.
Okay.
So Jyotika Sharma wants to know how much profit I can earn in 1 month. Jyotika is asking, sir, do you want to address this question?
Yeah, you see, this is what I said in the beginning, that the return on investment will depend upon a lot of factors. It will depend on which town you are in, whether you are in rural market, whether you are in a small town, bigger town, a 2-tier city or 3-tier city, and then that will decide what sort of rentals you will have to pay. Or if you own the store, then all the best, then it's very good. It's going to be huge earning, because occupancy cost is one of the major costs in retail today. And because of pandemic, the occupancy cost is almost slashed down to, this is the opportunity to go for it today, because occupancy cost is slashed down to 50%. And this is the time to grab that opportunity. And now that income per month will depend upon the estimated sale, the estimated expenses, and that the occupancy cost we have to pay. So it depends. It will differ from place to place. It will differ from size of the shop. But of course, there's no chance of not having an income.
So Jyotika, I hope you got the answer. So the ROI and returns varies from place to place, but of course you will make the return. the return. So that surety is giving. Now, Shobhajit Banerjee, sir, I take a franchisee of Liberty Shoes. He wanted to know. So do you want to address this question, sir, or yeah?
You see, it's very, very simple. He can have my email ID right now, if you can share with him. The supply
Okay.
was easily available, and they would mark the prices haphazardly, do some manipulation in it, but all that will stop now. There won't be
Okay.
this. The Indian manufacturers will progress, and there will be competition from in any product, anywhere you name any product, there is bound to be competition. But then, if you do not know how to differentiate, you die. We will have to
Yeah.
play on our skills. We have to play on our training. We have to learn every day. How can I compete with my brand? It's some. I give an example to Kritika. No?
Yeah.
I started a shop in Gorakhpur in basement, and on top of that was a multinational footwear store. I went to that store. I studied what are the weaknesses. I identified around 7 to 8 weaknesses. I went down and I countered those weaknesses with totally opposite to what those people were doing. That shop had to close. My shop became number one in that street in Gorakhpur. So we'll
And this
have to,
happened here. Like we are talking about which year?
almost 7 years before. And this is what we have to keep constantly watch on our strengths and weaknesses, and
Yeah.
take timely action that what we need to do. Otherwise, anybody becoming complacent and waiting for competition to kill, anybody will not survive. But we have to every day
Yes.
identify what are my weaknesses, my strengths, and play on that and curb and rectify those weaknesses continuously, for which we are there to help. But we need involvement.
Very
It's it makes two to tango. If we get the feedback continuously, and then we see that very enterprising and very eager franchisee sharing with us, and that's how these franchisees have made a chain of stores today. One of them, he has got the 12 stores in Pinky Sales at 12 stores, okay? And the other guy got 6 stores. They learned on the job. They have beaten competition left and right.
all right. Okay. One more question has come from Shudaksha. She wanted to know what are the facilities you are giving your franchisee, and what are your strategy to attract various franchisees you take up the franchisee of your company. I think we have answered this question.
Yeah,
How
we
we are
have.
different from other competitors.
Right.
But you want to add few points here, Mr. Ramesh? Son?
Uh, I would like to know what exactly is what's the question exactly?
Question? Yeah,
Yeah.
the question is what are the facilities you are giving your franchisees, and what are your strategies to attract various franchisees to take up the franchisee of your company?
Yeah, exactly. This is what I said in the beginning, that we identified the pain areas of a franchisee and investor, that why he feels restless, where he loses money. We have taken major part of that loss on us as principals, and we have made him mentally free from those worries. Forget about unsold stock. Yes, of course, you have to take care of stock. It should not be that you mishandle it and make you shop soiled and you throw it around. Not that way. But if there is some design which is a failure, which does not work, or if there is some size which has not worked, we will clear it at our cost, or we will take it back. The freight for incoming and outgoing, both is our problem that we have to pay. It's not
Okay.
that if
Okay.
the
So
franchisee
I
wants to sell,
yeah.
franchisee sees that there are some designs which have not worked, and then he says, how will I send it back? We have logistics department, we tie up with transporters. They come, they pick it up, and he does not have to worry about the freight for incoming and outgoing.
Okay. Okay. So Suraksha, I hope you got the answer. Liberty is taking the maximum pain point of their franchisee. You need not to think about the stocks. They have process in place. So whenever you are facing any kind of problem, they will give you the proper support. The few points which making them different and attractive from footwear franchisee. Now, the other question that has come from Faraz is that what's the earning potential for the new franchisee?
Oh, same answer. Here, what I have given to
Yeah.
Kritika also. So,
Ha, ha, ha.
what
So,
I
cost
would
of
say.
Liberty franchisee is again very close to place, Javed.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
No, I'm saying I'm give the answer to Javed
Oh, okay.
that he has asked about the potential. Yeah, yeah. So I think we have covered maximum questions that our viewers have asked. Franchisee opportunity that Liberty is giving. I will summarize all the points. If I talk about the ideal franchisee profile, a reasonable level of education is required in terms of location. Liberty will help you out, check that location will work or not. And then second is skill set. Of course, you should have. If you have knowledge, then of course it is an added advantage for you. Time for making your business successful and any franchisee successful to that, so that you can understand the taste of. And if I talk about the investment or the financial part, then again it's depend based upon the location wise area, how much you have and what will the art, how much furniture required. So these financials vary based on. This is what I got from Mr. Ramesh Sadhu. And sir, you want to add few points to our where if I'm talking about, it's not only the business seekers, even the franchisers start the business or expansion plan, they are also watching us. Do you have any want to give any message to them, because during this pandemic time they are also holding their plans to do any expansion? Do you have any message for them, sir?
You see, this is time to retrospect, but at this moment, because there's always a silver lining, that today I have myself requested landlords, and they have given me almost 50% concession in rentals. Today, the outlets are easily available than what we were available sometime before. The
Okay.
major cost of rentals has gone down. Now, I've seen that Reliance is taking advantage of it. There are
Okay.
so many
How?
companies that they are taking advantage, that those retailers who could not exist, even in big companies, they have given up certain locations, and Reliance has taken it at a very cheap rate. Why not me? So I have also taken advantage of that. I have taken a 5,000 square feet shop in Ghaziabad, and I
Okay.
have done restructuring because of this, because I got a tremendous concession in rentals, and this is the time where we can make use of this opportunity. It's bad, but at the moment, being a business guy, yes, we have to think about our cost of operation. And things will
True.
not remain like
So
this. I believe that things will improve within 2 months' time. People will come back. Even at this hour, we are getting visitors in our stores. When we are opening at 7 o'clock in the morning in Punjab, at till
yeah,
12 o'clock, I didn't believe that they are coming to buy shoes at that hour.
at
My
7 a.m.
B2C. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so they are coming to buy shoes. You're getting surprised,
Yeah.
know, at 7 a.m., right?
We open stores at 7 o'clock. It's open up
Huh.
to 12 o'clock. And within
Okay.
that time span, there are 10, 12 customers coming in. It was a big surprise to me. And this is even now at this stage and age of life, I am learning.
I'll also say this is also surprising for me also, like customing exactly at that time for buying the shoes. So yeah, so I would like to give one message to seekers, that if you're thinking this is not the right time for investment in retail franchisee, then you can do a little bit of research. Liberties online and retail is also performing very well. Liberty franchisee, they are giving proper support to their business seekers. And franchises, if you are holding your plan expansion, you please think about the strategy part, because we are into business, we have to think about the long term goal. So we can't sit and close everything. We have to plan the future, and we have to find out the
And
ultimate alternative options.
one thing I want to add here is not that it is it's depending upon one category. These are basic
Yeah.
shoes that are needed, not want. It's not that it's the category which is wanted by the customer. It's needed by them. School shoe is a need. The basic shoe is a need. The athleisure shoe that we have for 2,999 or 2,599, that's a need today. The
Yes.
slippers, the coolers is today need in summer. It's not a luxury, and the price point is so affordable that it's something like
Anyone can buy.
anyone can buy.
Yes, yes. And yeah, so it is like, if I talk about customer point of view, also this is very friendly and cost effective. If you want to go to a Liberty store, you can buy shoe. Yeah, sir. I think we had a very nice conversation with you. I think I want to continue session, but we have a limited time, and I hope our business seekers have got the idea that how they can take up Liberty franchisee, and Liberty cost of franchisee we'll discuss. When you will share your locations, you will tell us requirements. Then we'll discuss all these things.
Yeah.
So
Thank
it
you,
was really
Bandana.
sessions. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot
Yes,
for
sir.
inviting me, and it was a great experience for me also. And I hope that this relationship will develop further, and then we will have frequent interactions with our franchisees, prospective franchisees, and wish all the best to all of them. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, sir. It is my, thank you for taking out your, this time for this webinar and sharing all experience, knowledge with me. And I want to thank you for joining us. So I would like to tell our viewers that you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn. We are available. We are available. If you are not live here, you can go through recordings and you can get to know more about the Liberty IC. So thank you, our viewers. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.